In the cold silence of deep space, a small human ship floated near the edge of the Andari Nebula. The ship was old, slow, and not built for war. Its name was Mercy One. Inside, a lone human medic named Dr. Leo Grant was checking his medical supplies. He had seen many injuries, many battles. But he was not a soldier. He didn't carry a gun. Just a bag full of tools to heal wounds, stop bleeding, and save lives. That was his job. Suddenly, the ship's communication panel started blinking. "Incoming signal," said the onboard AI. "It's weak, very weak." Leo walked to the panel and pressed a button. A strange sound filled the room, a broken voice, full of pain and fear. Help. This is Queen Valori. Life support failing. Paralyzed, attacked by my own. Please, someone. Then silence. Leo leaned forward. "Rewind and clean the audio," he said. The AI played it again, clearer this time. The voice was female, calm but weak. She said she was a queen. She said she was injured. And worst of all, she said her own people had attacked her. Leo sat back in his chair. He knew the name Valori. She was the queen of the Zalari Empire, one of the oldest alien races in the galaxy. Powerful, proud, and not friendly with humans. He opened a galaxy map. The signal came from a wrecked ship, floating in a dead zone of space. No patrols, no trade, no help. Leo connected to the Galactic Emergency Channel. He sent the signal to others, but one by one, replies came in. Too dangerous. Could be a trap. She's not human. Not our problem. Leo stared at the screen. Everyone had refused. He looked again at the signal. It was still active, just barely. Life support was almost gone, whoever she was. She was dying. He made a choice. "AI," he said, "prepare for docking. Set course to the distress signal." The eye hesitated. "Warning, no backup support available. This choice is dangerous." "I know," Leo said. "Let's go anyway." 20 minutes later, his small ship reached the source of the signal. The Queen's ship was massive, shaped like a broken star, floating with no power. Its surface was burned and cracked. Leo docked carefully. He wore a lightweight suit and took only his med-kit. Inside, the ship was dark. Emergency lights blinked. The air was thin. Smoke floated in the hallways. He followed the signal. Step by step, he moved deeper into the ship. He passed alien bodies, guards, servants, all dead. The signs of attack were clear. But it didn't look like an outside attack. They were killed from inside. Leo finally reached a sealed room. A cracked security door stood between him and the signal source. He used his tools to override it. The door opened with a hiss. Inside the chamber, it was quiet. At the center lay a tall alien figure. Graceful, glowing skin, long silver hair. Her lower body was burned. Her arms lay motionless, but her eyes were open and filled with pain. Leo stepped forward. "You're Queen Valori?" he asked gently. She looked at him. "You are human?" she said weakly. "Yes," he replied. "I came to help. I'm a medic." The Queen coughed. Her voice was slow. "You are the only one who came. I thought no one would come." Leo knelt beside her and opened his medkit. "You're safe now," he said. He began scanning her body. Her spine was damaged. She couldn't move her legs. Her breathing was weak. She needed oxygen, pain control, and immediate care. "Why did they attack you?" Leo asked. The Queen looked away. "They feared peace. I wanted to stop the war. Some in my court wanted power instead. They struck me down, left me here, to die in silence." Leo listened but kept working. He injected her with stabilizers, then connected her to a portable oxygen tank. Her breathing became easier. But then clang, a loud sound echoed through the ship. Leo froze. The Queen's eyes widened. "They are coming," she whispered. "They know I'm alive." And someone answered, "Who's coming?" Leo asked. She grabbed his arm with surprising strength. "You must leave, now." "I'm not leaving you," Leo said firmly. Suddenly the ship shook. Another small craft had landed on the other side. "They will kill us both," the Queen said. Leo stood up. His heart was racing. He looked around the room. There was no time to escape, but he had one option: hide and survive. He helped the Queen into a small cargo compartment behind the throne. It was tight but hidden. He sealed it shut. The Queen looked at him through the small gap. "You're risking your life for me." "Why?" Leo smiled. "Because life matters. Even alien queens." As he turned back toward the entrance, he heard footsteps. Shadows moved in the hallway. Leo took a deep breath. No weapons. Just his brain and his courage. He was ready. The ship was silent again. But not peaceful. Dr. Leo Grant stood in the shadow of a cracked doorway, breathing slowly, carefully. Just minutes ago, he had hidden the alien queen inside a cargo wall behind her throne room. Now strange footsteps echoed down the hallway. These were not human steps. They were slower, heavier, deliberate. Leo crouched behind a fallen metal beam, holding a small medical scanner like a weapon, even though it couldn't shoot. He waited. His heartbeat was loud in his ears. The smoke in the air stung his eyes. Then he saw them, 3 tall figures wrapped in dark armor, move down the hallway like shadows. Their skin was pale blue, their eyes glowing faint red. Zalari assassins, elite, cold, trained to kill without sound. They didn't speak. They scanned the room like hunters searching for prey. Leo knew one thing: if they found the Queen, they would kill her. And him too. He stayed perfectly still. One of the assassins stopped. It tilted its head, as if listening. Then it turned sharply and walked toward the hidden compartment. No. Leo's body tensed. His mind raced. He had to stop them. But how? He quickly grabbed a small vial from his med kit. Inside was Soma 31, a liquid used to cause short-term sleep during surgery. He threw the vial across the room. Crack. The glass hit the wall and broke. A cloud of gas hissed into the air. The assassins snapped around. Weapons drawn. Leo took the chance to run. He dashed into the hallway, pulling wires and tubes behind him to create confusion. Lights flickered. Smoke thickened. For a moment, he lost the assassins. He ducked into a broken chamber filled with broken glass, sat down, and caught his breath. Then he heard a voice. Not from the hallway, from his wrist communicator. "Human, you risk too much." It was the Queen. Her voice was weak but calm. "I said go," she whispered. Leo tapped his communicator. "And I said I don't leave people behind." "You don't even know me," she replied. Leo looked up at the stars through a crack in the ceiling. "That doesn't matter. What they're doing to you is wrong. That's enough for me." A moment of silence. Then the Queen said, "Come back. I have to tell you something. Something important." 5 minutes later, Leo slipped back into the throne room. The assassins were gone for now. He opened the compartment. The Queen looked pale, but her eyes were clear. "You are strange," she said softly. "Humans usually run from danger." "I'm not most humans," Leo replied with a tired smile. She gave a small nod. Then her voice became serious. "I need you to know why they want me dead. Why they sent assassins." Leo sat down beside her. "I was not just a ruler," she said. "I was preparing to change our future. I met with leaders from other species. I even spoke to humans." Her voice shook slightly. "I wanted peace." Leo listened carefully. "The war between our people is a lie, created by those in power. War makes money. War gives control. I stood in the way." She paused, then added, So they broke my spine, locked me in this ship and left me to die. Quietly. Secretly. Leo was silent. It was a lot to take in. So now what? He asked. I need to reach my allies. There are still some who believe in peace. But they don't know I'm alive. Leo nodded slowly. I can help you send the message. But we have to get off this ship. Agreed, she said. Then she looked at him closely. But they'll come for you now. You helped me. That makes you a target too. Leo stood up and zipped his medkit. Let them come, he said. But first, we fix you. She smiled. Faintly, you're more than just a medic. Leo replied, maybe, but saving lives is still my job. As Leo helped the Queen into a mobile stretcher, a strange light flashed outside the ship. Another vessel had arrived. Leo looked through a crack in the hull. It was not alien. It was human, a military-class shuttle, flying the black and silver flag. Of a human mercenary group, Leo's eyes narrowed. That's not good, he muttered. The Queen looked up. Friends? Leo shook his head. Not exactly. They don't save people. They sell them. Space doesn't make sound. But fear does. Inside the broken alien ship, the air was thick with heat and silence. Dr. Leo Grant stood by the window slit, watching the human mercenary ship land with a heavy thud. Its black and silver armor reflected the nearby stars like cold mirrors. They're here, he whispered. Behind him, Queen Valori lay inside the stretcher pod. Her glowing skin was dim. Her breath was steady, but weak. She looked at Leo. Who are they? Hunters, Leo answered. They take what they want, especially if it breathes and bleeds. The Queen blinked slowly. Then we must hide again. Leo shook his head. No time. They have scanners. They'll find us unless we move. He quickly pressed buttons on his wrist console. The pod began to hover. I'm taking you to the medical bay, he said. It's deeper inside the ship, hidden from basic scans. Will it keep me alive? She asked. It better, Leo muttered. Because I'm out of backup plans. Elsewhere on the ship, the human mercenaries stepped through the airlock like wolves entering a dark forest. 4 of them, helmets on, rifles ready. Their boots crunched metal and bone without care. Their leader, a tall woman with a cybernetic eye, scanned the hallway. Zalari. Signatures, she said. Multiple dead. But someone else is moving. Another merc whispered. You think the Queen's still alive? If she is, she's worth a lot of credits, the leader replied. Half the galaxy wants her dead. The other half wants her protected. Either way, we win. They moved forward. Behind them, the shadows moved too. But these shadows didn't wear armor. They had long limbs, glowing red eyes and skin the color of cold stone. The assassins had returned. Medical bay. 7 minutes later, the room was old, but still running on emergency power. Faded lights hummed weakly. Machines blinked like sleepy eyes. Leo laid the Queen on a healing slab and connected a mixture of human and alien tech. He worked fast, injecting stabilizers, adjusting oxygen, scanning her vitals. You're lucky your species shares some blood chemistry with ours, he said. Otherwise this would have taken a miracle. She didn't smile. I don't believe in luck. Well, I believe in doing my job, Leo said. He wiped sweat from his forehead and looked at her readings. Her spine was still damaged, but her pulse was stronger now. That's when the alarm beeped. Motion detected. Multiple life forms. Closing in. Leo turned off the lights. Darkness wrapped around them like a blanket. He whispered, We've got company. Hallway. Outside, the mercenaries walked forward slowly. Their lights scanned walls and doors. One of them pointed toward the medical bay. Heat signature inside. 2 bodies. The leader smiled. Jackpot. She raised her rifle, but before she could fire, something dropped from the ceiling. A hiss. A slash. A scream. One merc fell, blood spraying against the wall. Another turned too slow. A sharp blade pierced his helmet. The leader yelled, "Ambush! Fall back!" Too late. The Zalari assassins attacked with deadly silence. They moved like smoke, appearing, striking, vanishing. The mercs were trained, but not ready for this. The hallway turned red with warning lights and blood. Inside the medical bay, Leo heard the screams, the gunshots. Then nothing, sounds like. "They're fighting each other," he said. The Queen opened her eyes slowly. "You must leave." "No," Leo replied. "Not without you." "You don't understand," she said. "The assassins, one of them, served me once. If he finds me first, he may not kill me." Leo narrowed his eyes. "That's a big maybe," she looked at him. "I'm telling you, go. If I die, the war will never end." Leo didn't move. Then the door opened. Not kicked in, not blasted, just opened. A tall Zalari assassin stepped inside. He didn't raise a weapon. He looked at the Queen. Then dropped to one knee. "My Queen," he said in a deep voice. "You still live." Leo stared, stunned. The Queen's face stayed calm, but her voice was sharp. "Carathel, they said you were dead." "I was marked for death," the assassin said. "But I escaped. I've waited for your return." Leo stepped between them. "If you're here to help, great. But we need to leave. More will come." Carathel nodded. "There is a secret hangar 2 levels down. I can clear the way. But she must move soon. Others are coming who are not loyal." Leo glanced at the Queen. Her breathing was slowing again. "Then let's move," he said. He lifted the stretcher. Carathel turned and vanished into the hallway. The Queen whispered to Leo, "You were right about one thing." "What's that?" She smiled faintly. "Life still matters." Asterisk. The hangar doors opened slowly, scraping like old bones. Doctor. Leo Grant stood at the edge, his face lit by the blue light of the alien platform. Queen Valori rested on the hover stretcher beside him, her body weak but her mind wide awake. Behind them, Carathel, the loyal assassin, walked quietly, his long cloak brushing against the metal floor. This place felt forgotten. Old fighter. Ships, dusty control panels, broken weapons. A ghost station from another time. Leo looked around. "Can we fly one of these?" Carathel nodded. "One is still working. I will prepare it." As he walked off, Leo knelt beside the Queen. Her eyes were open, staring at nothing. Not the ship, not the stars. Something far away. "Are you in pain?" Leo asked gently. The Queen did not answer right away. Then she said, "Do you know what power tastes like, human?" Leo blinked. "No, I've only tasted coffee, blood, and regret." She smiled faintly. "Then you're lucky." She began to speak, not as a queen, but as someone tired of lies. "My real name is Valorian Revel Silin," she said. "I was not born to rule. I was chosen after the previous queen was murdered." Leo sat beside her, listening quietly. "I thought I could fix things," she continued. "I thought if I spoke to enemies with respect, if I brought reason instead of fire, the galaxy would listen." Her hands lay still on the stretcher. "I visited your planets. I read human books, watched your history. You are loud, emotional, strange, but you care. You fight for the weak. You fight even when the world gives you nothing." Leo raised an eyebrow. "You make us sound better than we are." "You're not perfect," she replied. "But neither are we." She paused. Her voice dropped lower. "I made a deal. A secret one." Leo leaned closer. She continued. "I met with 5 leaders, human. AI, Tharnic, Zalari elders, and even an exiled warlord. We planned a treaty, an end to war." She looked up at the hangar ceiling, as if seeing through it. "But my own people, my own blood, called it betrayal. They poisoned the council, sent killers to stop the peace. They crashed my ship, broke my body, blamed humans for it." Leo's jaw tightened. That's why the war continued, he said slowly. Because they wanted it. Yes, the Queen whispered. Because peace takes courage. And courage is rare in the halls of power. Carathel returned. The fighter is ready, but it is small. Only 2 may ride. Leo looked at the Queen. You're going. I'll find another way. She grabbed his arm, weak but firm. No, you stay with me. Carathel stepped forward. I will remain. I know the tunnels of this ship. I can delay our enemies. Leo hesitated. You could escape with us. The assassin shook his head. I already died once. This is better. He knelt before the Queen one last time. Long live the true flame. Valori closed her eyes. You never failed me, Carathel. May your blades sing one more time. Carathel rose and vanished. Into the dark corridors without another word. Inside the small fighter ship, Leo strapped the Queen into the co-pilot seat. Her body was too weak to move, but her eyes followed everything. You good? Leo asked. She smiled. Define good. Alive works, he replied. He pressed the launch button. The fighter lifted, then shot out of the hangar like a bolt of fire. The stars opened before them. Leo set the coordinates. Where now? He asked. The Queen's voice was calm. To the hidden moon of Valtira. That's where the treaty was meant to be signed. If any of the old allies are alive, they will be waiting. Leo stared ahead, gripping the controls. You really think peace is still possible? He asked. I don't know, she whispered. But I do know this. She looked at him. It begins with one person who doesn't give up. Leo didn't reply. He just kept flying. Behind them, the broken ship exploded. Leo didn't look back. But somewhere in the wreckage, Carathel fought until his final breath. For loyalty. For truth. For a Queen who dared to dream. And for a human medic who proved that sometimes the weakest ship carries the strongest heart. The stars looked peaceful. But Leo knew better. The small fighter ship moved quietly through space. Dr. Leo Grant sat at the controls. Queen Valori, still weak, rested beside him in the co-pilot seat. Her eyes were half closed, but her mind was awake. Behind them, smoke, war, death. Ahead, a moon with secrets. They were headed toward Valtira. A moon no map showed. Hidden, quiet. And if the Queen was right, the last hope for peace. But something was wrong. Leo's screen blinked red. Unidentified ship approaching. He cursed it under his breath. Already, Valori opened her eyes. Who is it? Leo checked the ID code. It's human, he said. Military grade, friends? She asked. He didn't answer. 10 minutes later, they were forced to dock. A larger human cruiser, the Resolute Star, pulled them in. Its hull was marked with the Earth Union flag, silver wings on blue. A voice crackled over the com. Dr. Leo Grant, you are carrying a high-risk alien target. Power down and prepare for inspection. Leo turned to the Queen. Stay calm, let me speak. She nodded. You've risked too much already. Leo powered down. Inside the cruiser, things felt too clean. Bright lights. Sharp boots on metal. Floors, soldiers with stiff faces. Leo and the Queen were surrounded, but no one spoke to her. They all looked at Leo. A man stepped forward, tall, sharp-jawed, wearing a black captain's coat. Leo, he said flatly. Still playing hero? Leo blinked. Commander Rice? They'd trained together once, years ago. Before Leo left for the medical corps, before he chose healing over killing, Rice didn't smile. You're carrying a war criminal. She's the Queen, Leo replied. And she's trying to stop the war. Rice's voice stayed cold. She's worth 50 million credits, dead or alive. Silence fell. The Queen looked at Rice, then at Leo. So this was the moment. Not when the aliens turned, but when the humans did. Leo stepped forward. She's injured. She's not a threat. She's the key to stopping all of this. Rice didn't flinch. She's a key, all right, to power, to control. Think about it, Leo. You bring her in, and you're no longer a nobody. You're a hero. You'd never work another day in your life. Leo laughed once, bitter. I didn't save her for a paycheck. Rice's eyes hardened. Then you're even more naive than I thought. He turned to the soldiers. Take her. Detain him. The Queen stood. She could barely balance, but she didn't fall. Her voice was quiet, but strong. You don't understand what's coming, Rice sneered. Save your speeches, Your Highness. You'll get a chance to say them in court or in chains. Two soldiers stepped forward, Leo's fists clenched. Touch her, and I'll be for. He could finish. A sharp voice cut through the room. Stand down. Everyone froze. A woman walked in, older, tall, dressed in a gray diplomatic uniform. Her badge marked her as an Earth Union representative. A high one. She walked straight to Rice. I was listening, she said. And I've heard enough. Rice stiffened. With respect, ma'am, this is a military matter. Not anymore, she said. This is politics now. She turned to the Queen. Valori of Zalari. I know who you are. My father signed the first peace draft with your people before he was silenced. The Queen blinked. Then you know what they did. The woman nodded slowly. Yes, and I know what we almost had. She faced Leo. You saved her, alone. You put your life at risk. That tells me you're either incredibly foolish or incredibly honest. Leo smiled slightly. Both, she returned the smile. Just a little. Then she turned to the soldiers. The Queen stays in our protection. No harm will come to her. Is that clear? Rice looked like he might explode, but he didn't. He gave a stiff nod. Later, in a quiet room, Leo sat beside the Queen once more. She looked tired but peaceful. You still believe in peace? Leo asked. The Queen answered softly, I never stopped. I just forgot how much it costs. Leo leaned back in his chair. And now? She looked at him. Her voice was firm. Now. We make them remember what it's worth. Far away, in a black tower orbiting a dead planet, the ones who had tried to kill her watched the screen in silence. She lives, one of them hissed, and the human saved her. Another voice replied, Then we change the plan. No more hiding, no more lies. We end it, before she speaks again. Asterisk time was running out. Dr. Leo Grant watched the Queen's vitals blink red again. Inside the Earth Union medical bay, machines hummed, tubes ran from her arms, and her breathing grew slower with each passing minute. Queen Valori was alive. Yes, but only barely. The poison in her system, the damaged spine, the slow failure of her alien organs, it was all catching up. And even with Earth's best equipment, she needed something more. Something not human. Leo slammed his hand on the console. This isn't working. Her cells are rejecting everything. A tired voice spoke behind him. That's because she's not built like us. Leo turned. The Earth Union diplomat, Ambassador Rhea Lynn, stood in the doorway. You need alien tech, she said. Zalari healing systems. We don't have them here. Leo didn't waste time. Then where are they? She hesitated. There's one place, a research base, joint project. Top secret. Orbiting the dark side of Jupiter. Not on maps. Leo raised an eyebrow. Why am I not surprised? You'll have to go off record. No protection, no backup. Leo looked at the Queen. Her face was pale, her light dimming. He didn't hesitate. I'm going. 30 minutes. Later, Leo stood in the launch bay of the Earth Union cruiser, preparing a medical jump ship, not built for war. Just speed. The Queen was loaded into a pressure pod. Thin walls, clear glass, machines humming around her. She looked at Leo through the glass. Her voice was faint, almost fading. You don't have to do this. Leo fastened his straps, checked the engines, and replied without looking, "Yeah, I do." The ship launched. The journey to the base was not smooth. Space storms tore at the ship. A false gravity wave hit them. Near Saturn. Leo's hands were raw from gripping the controls. But the Queen never left his mind. He'd never had a patient like her, not just because she was royal or alien, but because she believed in something bigger, even as her body failed her, and he refused to let that belief die. The base appeared 2 hours later, a dark ring floating in blackness. No lights, no welcome. Leo connected manually. "This is Dr. Leo Grant. I have a dying patient. Requesting emergency entry." No response. He tried again. Still silence. He looked at the Queen. Her eyes barely moved, but she blinked once, slowly, as if to say, "Keep going." So he did. He docked the ship without permission, forced open the airlock, and rolled the pod through the silent corridors of the research base. Inside was worse than he expected. Dark halls. Broken screens. Blood on the floor. Empty. Abandoned. Leo muttered, "Perfect." But he kept moving. At the center of the base, he found what he needed. A Zolari regeneration chamber, built for royal biology, but it was cold. Shut down, the core offline. Leo didn't wait. He ripped open the side panel. Sparks flew. Wires hissed. He fed power from his own ship into the chamber, rerouting the energy by hand. He burned his fingers. Twice. He kept going. Then the chamber blinked to life. Blue light filled the room. Leo pulled the Queen from the pressure pod and lowered her gently into the healing tank. It closed with a hiss. The machine scanned her. A soft alien voice began to speak in Zolari. Lights turned green. Leo watched. Breath held. Her heartbeat on the monitor went from slow to steady. He sat on the floor, exhausted, shaking, laughing and crying at the same time. "She's gonna make it," he whispered. But not everyone was happy. Back on Earth Union channels, a message was sent from an unknown source. Queen Valori survived. The human took her to base Echo Black. Send the strike team, burn everything. Inside the healing room, Leo sat beside the chamber. His eyes were closing, then the door behind him opened. Boots, heavy, fast. Leo stood instantly. His hand grabbed the closest thing, a wrench. 3 black armored soldiers stepped in. No insignia. No flags. Just guns. Leo raised the wrench. "Back off." One of the soldiers lowered his weapon slightly. "You really think she's worth dying for?" Leo didn't blink. "I didn't come this far to let her die now." Behind him, the chamber hissed. Steam rolled out. Queen Valori stepped forward. She wasn't fully healed, but she stood on her own legs. Her eyes glowed like stars reborn. She spoke one word: "Enough." And the lights in the room began to shake. The soldiers froze. Leo turned, stunned. The Queen walked toward him, slowly, powerfully. "I remember now," she said. "What they took, what I lost, what I still carry." She looked at the soldiers. "If you came to stop peace, you're already too late." Queen Valori stood tall. For the first time in weeks, her legs held her. Her back was straight. Her breath was full. The healing chamber hissed behind her, steam swirling like smoke after a fire. The damage in her body was nearly gone, but her eyes told a different story. Something had awakened inside her. Not just life, purpose. Across the room, Dr. Leo Grant was still holding the wrench, half as a weapon, half in shock. He had seen her half dead, broken, barely able to speak. Now, she looked like she could command stars. The soldiers in black armor stood frozen. Not because of her power, because of her presence. One of them finally whispered, "What is she?" Leo answered first, "Hope." They didn't fight. They lowered their weapons slowly. The leader of the group took one look at her glowing eyes, then turned around and walked out without a word. Some truths are too big to argue with. Silence returned. Leo dropped the wrench and let out a breath. Well, that was intense. The Queen turned to him. You brought me back when no one else would. You believed in something you didn't even understand. He shrugged. Didn't need to. I just knew letting you die was wrong. She smiled. You saved more than a life today. You saved a future. 2 days later, the entire galaxy changed. Queen Valori stepped in front of a live transmission stream that reached over 300 systems. For years, she had been declared dead. For months, lies had poisoned the truth. Now she spoke, with her voice, with proof, and with fire. She told the galaxy about the attempted assassination, the betrayal from her court, the war that was built on false blood. And then she said, the human who saved me had no rank, no weapons, no army. He had only courage, and that was enough to start something new. She looked at Leo, standing just out of frame. We must follow that example. We must begin again, not with blades, but with healing hands. That speech broke the system. The war didn't end in one day. But it cracked. Treaties were reopened. Enemies called for talks. Some still plotted in the dark. But now, the light was louder. And in the center of it all, Dr. Leo Grant. He refused medals. He turned down money. He didn't want fame. But the Queen insisted on one gift, a living one. She brought him to a new planet. Green skies, rivers like silver, buildings shaped like vines and stone. This was meant to be our peace capital, she said. Before they tried to silence it, she handed him a simple medallion. A small blue crystal, glowing with soft light. This is yours now. Not as a prize, but as a promise. Leo looked down at it. What promise? That we will never forget the one human, she said, who chose to save instead of stand by. He stayed, not because he was forced, not because it was easy, but because the world he helped save was still hurting, and healing needed time. Leo opened the first human Zalari healing center. Soldiers, refugees, orphans, diplomats, all sat under the same roof. No rank, no border. Just wounds. And the will to fix them. 1 year later, children ran through the silver halls. Trees grew up through the ceiling. Old soldiers sat beside former enemies, laughing over bad soup. Leo walked through the center, carrying a medical tablet and a cup of tea. Queen Valori visited often. Not as a queen, not as a patient, just as a friend. They sometimes sat under the star dome and watched the galaxy spin. This is what we almost lost, she once said. Leo nodded. Good thing we didn't.